380, 280. It's NFL Straya. That's right. I'm your co-host, Jaymz Clements. I threw my back out doing that one. I'm a guy here in the studio. No longer top of the AFC. Still top of the AFC East, which is pretty good. On the other side of this here screen is a bloke who doesn't know where he is right now. He's fresh off a plane. He's, I think, in the tropics. It's sometimes singer in a band called The Ramshackle Army, fresh off shutting out the Raiders. He's my mate. He's your mate. It's Gaz. Gaz, what's going on?
Mate, it's I'm in sunny, extremely sticky Cairns at the moment. I was in Mackay yesterday. I'm in Sydney tomorrow, and then fly home on Saturday. So it's all about it's the world tour of Gaz. Well, it's world tour, East Coast tour of Gaz. But I'm fitting into football. It was definitely worth getting some football sorted. I woke up at 4 a.m. because of Queensland time to watch my Eagles play this week, and it was definitely worthwhile.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right. Good stuff. It's also nice to see that you don't look like you're about to fall asleep in a dungeon somewhere. Now you just look like you're in, I don't know, a proper studio. It's great. Anyway.
Oh, my white hotel walls. Thank you. Brought to you by Pullman International Cairns. Thank you very much.
Oh, who doesn't love a Pullman? Anyway, this is NFL Straya's Week 15 wrap show. Lots to talk about. Lots happened this week, which is pretty fun. So we've got all the news. We've got the Week 15 wrap of every game. We've got our yeah, nahs. We're going to give away the awards of the week. And then later on this week, on Thursday, you'll get our Week 16 picks. We've got a Chockers week coming up as well, because I think we've got Friday football, Sunday football, Monday football, and Tuesday football this week, which is rocking. So very fun stuff. All right, well, that's it. Let's get into it. Episode 151 of NFL Straya. Let's go!
Is this what I came here for?
Dadgummit. Karn Sarnit. Flippity gibbets. Oh, damn. Oh, Karn Sarn. Dadgummit. Can't believe we lost this goddamn game. This is Phil Rivers, and you're listening to NFL Straya again. All right, Gaz. It felt weird to watch someone who's older than me play football.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was a bit strange, but
It's the season of the 40-year-olds, though, right? Like
chaos.
what's 3, Jim? 3.
Like LeBron in the NBA, that's fine because he's like a physical specimen. Phil Rivers is not a physical specimen. I might be more of a physical specimen than Phil Rivers, which is terrifying to think of. But I mean, I think the way that they had him strapped up with like the flak jacket under the jersey didn't help his dad bod vibes. But anyway, what a week it was. Anyway, look, right off the top, the biggest news obviously is that the Kansas City Chiefs, it's done. It's over. They've missed the playoffs, and Patrick Mahomes has done his ACL. So
Fucking brutal week.
it was chaos. Then we also had Micah Parsons do his ACL, which is crazy. And there was a minute there where Jerry Jones, I'm Jerry Jones, I got a bit of a smile on my face. We lost to the Vikings, God damn it. And now they're basically Dunskies as well. Jaden Daniels is now out for the season.
Jim, there's a 1% chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance. All right. Earlier in the week, prior to the games, TJ Watt, I don't know if he'd been consulting with the old Chargers doctor or whatever, but copped a collapsed lung, had to be taken to the hospital as part of like needling. What the bloody hell are you doing, you idiots? So that was pretty crazy. We also got a defensive coordinator fired, another one in New York. I think that's both the teams. And I think they also fired, what was that? Their assistant coach as well, the Giants, Brian Cox. That was earlier in the week, just after we taped, after he complained about the coaches being moved to the back of the plane after the loss to the Pats. And they went, all right, well, don't come to the
move you further back.
We'll move you right off the plane, idiot. So see ya. Off you went. But that was pretty funny. A strange week, basically, all up, right? When you've got all these injuries, you've also got like Devontae Adams pinging another hammy. You had, obviously, the Mahomes, Parsons ones are the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But really, my favorite thing, well, not favourite. Well, okay, favourite. The Chiefs being knocked out of any sort of playoff contention just fills me with a gleeful joy, right? Because this becomes like the unimpeachable Patriots dynasty and how hard it is to stay that good for that long, right? Because this will just happen. You'll have years and it just falls apart.
Conversations are over, Jim.
Exactly. So it feels pretty good. But, and this is Outback Takehouse basically jumping on it really early, it shits me up the wall that Mahomes got hurt because now that overshadows their failure of a year. It's like, but he also got hurt, so you can't really revel in it. Let me revel. That's all I ask. Just let me revel for 5 minutes, goddammit. I couldn't even do that. This has happened. It's just like, I'm just a bit sad because I don't want Mahomes hurt. I want him to lose, miss out on the playoffs. Yes. I don't want him to be hurt. That's just bastardry, you know what I'm saying? So
you want his soul crushed at full strength, Jim.
Exactly. Otherwise, Phil Rivers coming back and actually starting. Last week he was a high school coach sitting on the couch, which is pretty fun. They had the picture.
We heard about that a few times, Jim. We heard about the fact that he's got 150 kids.
Yep.
And fuck them kids memes and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was
And I think there was the photo of like him watching football in like a Mexican restaurant last week, 2 weeks ago or something. It was awesome. But that was kind of like a big bunch of the news. And what we sort of come out of this week is it's week 15 is now done. Usually we've got like a fairly good grasp of what's going on playoff wise.
You didn't mention, it's in your notes, but you didn't mention about the news from this week. Is that the Washington Commanders listened to us in last week's episode, Jim. We went on a 10-minute rant about what the fuck is Jay Daniels doing out in a game, and what have they done this week? They've shut him down for the season.
Because I like that they're like, it actually turns out it re-aggravated his injury. It's like, why do you think that happened, you idiots? Who could have seen that coming? It's chaos, absolute chaos. So he obviously is now out for the season. Roma Dunze actually was another one where the Bears are kind of like, look, he kind of got hurt again, kind of in warm-ups. It's like the Bears just need to stop warming up because I think this happened last week to like one of their linemen as well, right? Yeah. And you're like, dude, this is just, don't warm up. But he was dealing with like a stress reaction in his foot. So if he's gotten hurt prior to the game, like he's just, you shouldn't have been trying to play at that point, right? Because you've stepped wrong. Something's hurt. It's like, that's me at this point. But there was also another big Broncos. The Broncos just keep losing bits of their secondary to pec injuries because that happened to Pat Surtain earlier this year, right? He's actually still playing with like the full kit and caboodle over him. And this week they lost Brandon Jones. So anyway, it's all a bit of chaos, bad times for injuries. And like as a Pats fan, I'm just sort of sitting here just like fingers crossed the rest of the season. We've already lost Will Campbell. We've lost Milt Williams. They ought to be back around the playoffs. So I'm like, fingers crossed they get back. We don't lose anybody else. But as I was leaning into, we've sort of hit this point, week 15, we usually have like a half decent idea of what's going on in the playoffs. This year, we do not.
We absolutely do not.
At all. It is... One of my favorite things is always doing sort of playoff scenarios, right? And you get to read through like whether it be like an ESPN one, Athletic, whatever, and you just go through and you're like, so no one knows what's happening this year. Good. And so, because we've got so many like backloaded division games, right? So even your beloved Eagles still have to keep beating the Commanders in the next 2 games to really just salt that away, which they will do, but they have to just win one of them, I think. But Tampa Bay and Carolina both losing this week just completely screws the NFC South. The AFC East, we got Buffalo and New England. They're now going hammer and tongs the rest of the way. The Pats just have to beat the Dolphins and the Jets to actually win the AFC. Like if they just do that, they win it. But there's like, the NFC North. We've still got the Lions could still like get into the playoffs at the expense of the Bears, who are currently the 2 seed in the NFC. It's crazy, right? Like Green Bay, who knows what's going to happen there. The NFC West, we've got a Thursday night game.
3 teams within a game.
It's chaos. Like San Francisco could end up with the 1 seed out of nowhere. And you're like, what? They've got no dudes left. So that's awesome. Like, it's absolute chaos. And like the AFC South, I didn't even hit on that, right? You got the Chargers, you got Houston, Indy's falling apart. Oh man, I love it. It's great. So Let's talk out some of
Going
those.
up to a holiday time where none of us have to get up and go to work either. We just get to sit and watch football.
I've already explained to the oldest squid on Monday morning, he's getting up with his younger brother. So you're in charge on Monday. Dad's just in bed still on the iPad watching football until you guys start screaming and yelling and punching on. So, yeah, hopefully that lasts till about 6:45 and I'm all right. But anyway, how about some game wraps? Mentioned this earlier. Tampa Bay, 28. Atlanta, 29. What the hell was this on Friday? This was chaos. Kirk Cousins just looked good. Bijan was awesome. And
so weird.
Kyle Pitts went off his head. Like, how dirty would you be if you were going up against Kyle Pitts in fantasy this week or Supercoach or whatever, or even if you're a Tampa Bay fan? You're like, really, the 1 week in your entire career that you look as good as advertised when you're coming in via the draft and you blow everybody away. This is the week you do it. Really?
Yeah.
Really, Kyle Pitts?
Team knocked out. Contract year. He's going to do just enough for someone to go like, oh yeah, Kyle Pitts. I'm going to draft him in the 3rd round of my fantasy draft. He's going to stir enough interest for next year. He's going to stir enough interest in free agency, and then he's going to become the same Kyle Pitts that he was the last 4 years.
166 yards, 3 touchdowns. Taking the piss. Mike
Crazy.
Evans came back in that game, which was kind of nice, but it was like, this was the biggest fear with Tampa Bay, right? Like going into this game, they've now lost 5 of 6 games, but Baker's just looked banged up. They just don't look crisp. They just don't look that good. Their defense couldn't stop Atlanta. You're at home. This looked like a disaster. And then Carolina lost as well. So anyway, Atlanta, what are you doing? 5-9.
We have to also discuss the fact that they were what was it? It was 4th and 20. Fuck. They converted a 3rd and 28 and 4th and 14 on that drive. So if you see the clip from Mike Evans afterwards throwing his helmet and just fucking losing his shit, it's valid.
Yep.
This defense gave up a 3rd and 28, Jim, to Kyle Pitts.
There was like a bunch of fumble recoveries in this game as well, right? Like it was just chaos how they kept doing it. Just so stupid. So a dumb game. But anyway. Sunday's games, Monday time, our time. Chicago 31, Cleveland 3. Cleveland, this was not a great game.
Oh, I didn't watch this game, Jim.
What we
there was what happened was kind of.
I'm going to talk about Shadussy in a second. But the Bears having this weird thing where they just go, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to get all of the turnovers again. Turns out that's important when you're playing someone like Shadur Sanders, who now had 3 interceptions and, didn't have a great game.
No.
QBR of 8.2. Got sacked 5 times. Myles Garrett is now 1 sack away from the record, which is equaling the record, which is pretty gnarly. And, I mean, the Bears were good. It was the most complete Bears game I think we've seen this year. They just put them to the sword. And the best one was the alternate angle. Oh, I love a good alternate angle. Oh, I love them. There's nothing better. The alternate angles of the Caleb to DJ Moore touchdown in between 2 dudes converging on him. It is beautiful. Kissing fingers emoji. Like, it is just absolutely remarkable. So it also didn't really feel like Caleb's like, no, I knew he was there. It's fine. I'm like, I
did you though?
I mostly believe you, but there's a little bit of doubt. Anyway, good win for the Bears, as mentioned, 10-4. Amazingly, still not assured of a playoff spot. But anyway, Baltimore 24, Cincy 0. Embarrassing stuff from the Bengals. Joe Burrow hated every second of this game. Came out after and said, "Look, hey, if I'd have been playing quarterback for any team in the NFL, we would have lost that game. That's how bad I was." And you're like, I think you're right. That was horrible. Derrick Henry sort of got going a little bit too in the second half. It's like, and commentators love it when Derrick Henry just starts trucking dudes because we're like, December, it's Tractor-Cedo season. Let's go. It's not quite Toyota-thon Jordan Love, but Tractor-Cedo season is absolutely awesome. So Tractocito went off. And like he didn't have like the world's greatest, massivest game, but he had like these two big runs basically at a point where it's just like, hey, let's just kill the Bengals dead on this possession. And they did. And that was it. So it was a gross game. The Bengals are just... And like their defense hasn't been that horrible either. And it was just like,
the last couple of weeks, it was fine. But if your offense is doing nothing and your defense spends most of their time on the field, they're going to give up points at some point.
Jamar Chase still had 132 yards. They just never got in the end zone. It was crazy. Yeah. 2 interceptions for Burrow. They had like 2 different fumbles. And you're like, this is just horrible. This was at home for the Bengals as well. I love it. I love a good cut to the fans as well when they're all just doing the head in hands. And you're like, it's just... It
was like the coldest... game, I can't remember since whatever time. There's the coldest game at that stadium.
Jeez, it's pretty cold. Chargers 16, KC 13. This game rocked. Mostly the Chargers scoring that touchdown before the half was huge because I'm pretty sure, that's their only touchdown of the game.
Yep.
And their defense did enough to just sort of keep Mahomes in check for a lot of it. And then they... got over the hump. He got hurt. In comes Gardner Minshew, and you're like, oh, my God, we're all going to get Minshew. This is going to be... Oh, no. That's an interception. It was a really, really strange game where Herbs looked alternately horrible, alternately awesome, and, like, just blow the doors off awesome. And then have these, like, moments where you're like, Kamani Vidal... Amarian Hampton, this double-headed running back thing they were doing, just punished Kansas City, who, on the flip side, can't run the ball at all, where Mahomes is like their second leading rusher again. And you're like, this is just... I think they've earned this. The Chargers have done this. And Jim Harbaugh comes out and he's like, oh, this is just my favorite ball team. It's like, ball? Are they going to play basketball as well? Like, this is... Just really on board with this, Jim. That's cool.
I think what there's also said, though, like I think it shows that when it gets to playoff time, if there's anything that's going to kill this Chargers team, it's the offensive line.
100%.
Like getting Mahomes. That's Mahomes. The defense still. There's only 4 sacks, but they hit Herbs 12 times, and he's still recovering. So if anything that's going to get them to struggle, the defense is playing strong. The receivers and Herbs is playing well, even coming back from the injury. But that offensive line, fuck.
Yeah,
without Slater and Joe Alt is, it's tough.
And like, I don't feel like Kansas City's defense was like that great. And you just like every time Herbs was doing anything, it was really, really rushed. But the flip side, same thing happened to Mahomes, right? He ends up with like 16 and 28, 189 yards, 0 touchdowns. Like, and then there was a moment though where he's just like, I'll spam Kelsey, and this will work. And did for like a second, and then it didn't. And you're like, ooh, I don't know. And there's like, all I want now is the Pats to have to play the Chargers in the playoffs because I'm terrified of the Texans, which I'll get to in a second. But the Chargers, look, it feels like they're tough, they're rugged, and this was like a really good game for them to knock KC out of the playoffs for the first time in the Mahomes era. What is it? The first time they've missed since like 2015. It's like how many?
Crazy.
They've won all these back-to-back AFC Wests. Like it's crazy, crazy gear. And now it's done. So good job by the Chargers. Well played.
Yeah, happy days.
Buffalo 35, Pats 31. What the hell? Now.
What the what, Jim?
Can I, with all due respect to a 21-point blown lead, the biggest in Foxborough history.
I know what that's like, Jim. I've been there.
And they ripped off I think it ends up being like a 28-3 run that they went on. It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that in this. But the context isn't quite as important. So there was a couple of fucked calls. We get that. That's fine. Like the defensive pass interference is bullshit. 4th down holding calls that didn't go out. Anyway, whatever. Pats didn't deserve to win this game. The defense was dog shit. Up 21-0. And you never felt like watching that first half, I'm like, this is good. But like the entire time, I'm like, the Bills are 100% going to come back. And like, we're still going to have to fight and claw and scrap to win this game. And the defense was just that bad in the second half. You're like, oh, I think they scored 5 straight touchdowns. And you're like, yeah, we missed Milton Williams. Cook was just like, every time he'd sort of do anything, he'd get 8 yards at least. And you're like, oh, that's probably not great. And the flip side of the offense, Diggs has gone MIA. Henderson was absolutely unreal again.
That 65-yarder was fucking awesome.
He's immense. I love it. And like, they don't sort of know when to go to him sometimes. But I think there was 2 throws as well that May had late in this game that could have completely changed it. But the biggest problem was they had 2 possessions in the last 7 minutes. They didn't get a first down. Like, that's just a fucking complete failure on offense, right? They 5 of their last 7 plays didn't get a yard. Like, that's how bad that was. So I wasn't too beat up about this. As I'm watching, and I'm like, that sucks. Would have been nice to like still be within a chance for the 1 seed, get the AFC East. But I'd also like, I don't feel like this team is that good. So I kind of expected a game like this in one of these games, whether it be this game or next week against Baltimore or something like that, right? Yeah. So defense a bit shit, kind of no show on offense in that second half. What are you going to do? It's like, I don't feel like we're a fucking contender anyway. So that's why the lid was never off.
It's one game, Jim. You'll be right.
If we could kick the fucking shit out of Baltimore, though, next week, I'm just saying. There you go. So a bit of a shame. Drake May versus Allen. We'll talk about it again quickly in Nars. Washington 29, Giants 20. Yeah, 29-21. They beat the Giants. We got a hint of Jaymz. Jackson Dart was okay. Mariota was good. Terry McLaurin, good. Kind of feels like he fucked them the entire year by holding out and not being there early on in the season and then getting hurt because he'd been holding out. But I don't know. Weird one. Washington, you don't need to win this game. And they went out and they won it. And the Giants are trying their hardest to kind of go, oh, yeah, we're trying to win. But we're not really. And then they fired Steve Wilkes, which is pretty funny, their defensive coordinator.
Another blown season for the. I mean, Giants obviously they're just trying to get any sort of vibes to roll into next season. Losing some pretty important players, Jim, along this journey, and new coach next year, and you're like, yeah, all right, just limp to the end of the season and move on, right?
I think the thing is, like, are you convinced of Jackson Dart? This could be a yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you keep him, roll with him under a new coach who might be able to go, hey, Jackson Dart, can you go one game without going into the blue tent and having us all wildly worried about your health? Just one game. Can you do that? He's like, no can do, Chief. And then Scatterbo's head comes busting through the walls like, Scatterbo! And you're like, what the fuck, man? Anyway, Raiders 0, Philly 31.
Yeah, look, this is what we wanted to see, what I've wanted to see for 5 weeks. It was, I'm not going to get super excited, Jim. I'm super excited about the defense. We were playing Kenny Pickett, right? Philadelphia Eagles legend, the man who ended the Super Bowl with the ball in his hands, Jim. Kenny Pickett. But look, the defense just fucking destroyed this game. 75 total yards, the lowest score in NFL in the Super Bowl era history, the lowest number of yards. The offense was Jalen Hurts went back to being efficient, like 12 of 15, 175 yards. But this game was so done that the last quarter was all backups, right? So the Eagles needed this in terms of this get right kind of vibe because the last 3 weeks have just been fucking horrendous. They tried a few things. They went back to the shovel pass, which had been working. A couple of touchdowns to Dallas got it. Another touchdown to fucking AJ. Brandon Graham got his first sacks after retiring and coming back. But if you're the Vegas, you're like, what the fuck, man? Like they invested with Pete Carroll in, Pete Carroll just seems to have this this vibe about I can make a middle of the road team good, which is why rather than having it turn to rip the Band-Aid off and completely rebuild, you go after someone like a Geno, right? So now I think that decision's been effectively made for him. You can't invest in, rather than spending a whole bunch of good quality weapons, you invest in something like a Genty and then have the most fucking horrible offensive line where he can't get back to the line of scrimmage, right? So, look, I think moving on, this is a Vegas who just fucking need to look at themselves in the mirror and completely rebuild. You can't waste a Bowers and a Genty career like with mediocrity that they've currently got at the moment. And for the Eagles, as you mentioned, one more game will do it in the division. We got 3 to go. One will probably lose to the Bills, and the other 2 against the Commies who've just started to shut down their quarterback. So, 1 or 2 games, because to be honest, if we win this next game, we might be having nothing to play for in the last 2, because we won't get the number 1 or 2 seed, I don't reckon. So,
nice.
Happy, but not over the top.
Just need this is the absolute epitome of a get right game of we're just 100%. Trying stuff now, and
it was. There was definitely did more under center. They did more, went back to things like crossing routes and bloody slants and things like that, which is AJ Brown's bigger than people and quick. Why the fuck they don't throw more slants to him? I got no fucking clue, because every time it's like an automatic 14 yards.
My favorite thing about this was how quick this game was over. It was just I think it took 60 minutes of real time, and the game was over. Yeah. They're just just keep playing, boys. We're just going to let the clock run the entire time, because it was that. It was 17 zip that quickly. Yuck. Anyway, so good job by the Eagles.
Yeah,
nice.
There you
go. Jets 20, Jacksonville 48. This was a whomping. Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was absolutely off his head. It felt like he was padding his stats a bit there, where he's just I'll keep throwing it to Etienne. This will be fun. And it just kept working. Brady Cook was horrible. 3 more interceptions. I am kind of excited. Did I say the Giants fired Steve Wilkes before? It was the Jets who fired Steve Wilkes. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Because their defense was horrible against this Jags team. They got absolutely obliterated. And it was wildly embarrassing. To the point where it just, how many points are the Jags going to score? 5 touchdowns for Lawrence, 330 yards. He ran 1 in. He also had 50 rushing yards. He is the first player to ever do that in NFL history. That's not bad. Yeah, not bad. Jags are for real. They're good. Liam Cohen, good coach. Since what are they? They're 6-1, I think, since their bye.
That's not bad.
So basically, they've sort of sat down and gone, this is what we're meant to be doing. And
let's do more of that stuff.
Do that more instead of the bad stuff, and we'll be right. And that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Houston 40, Arizona 20. There was a bit of a minute there where Houston were dominating this game. Arizona came back sort of out of nowhere. It's we're here, and then Houston went, right, get out of here. It's 100% verbal meme where they the leaning forward with the controller. So no, better pay attention. All right, cool. That's what I'm doing. Nico Collins is great. The defense is unreal. CJ Stroud looked really good again, which is, horrifying if they end up in the 7 seed and the Pats are the 2 seed, for instance. I do not want a bar of that.
I know. You've said that for a few weeks now, mate.
Few weeks. I've been on Houston being terrifying for about a month and a half. I'm I want nothing to do with Houston. And smash cut to now, and they're just steamrolling everybody. I hate it. Anyway, good job by them. Green Bay 26, Denver 34. A really fun game because it looked awesome. One of the great uniform matchups, this one. Packers looked incredible in the first half. And, the 23-14, and the offense completely fell to bits. I think they had 2 interceptions, 2 turnovers on downs, and a punt in the second half. It was horrible. And then, obviously, the Parsons injury was just the crappy icing on the cake, right? So, you sort of look at that now with Green Bay floating around the top of the NFC. And I don't know, how do you feel about Green Bay now, Gary? Because
they've been shaky. I've not been wildly convinced through the year, and then all of a sudden they'll just show up, right? And then you'll just see, that's what Jordan Love can be like. That's what an offensive scheme plan where you don't have a number 1 wide receiver. You have 3 or 4 number 2s where you spread the ball around. That's what looks fucking awesome. And Josh Jacobs when he's rolling, and all this defense, Micah Parsons chasing people down from behind, like terrifying monster that he is. Like all those things falling into place, and you're like, oh, that's what this Green Bay team can be when they play the Lions. And then they'll do something else where you're like, okay, it just wasn't clicking today. So look, I don't know. It depends on who's going to show up in the playoffs, but obviously they're right there. But these sort of losses is what keeps everything close in that division. It's fucking chaos.
Because what, they'd beaten the Vikings, the Lions, and somebody else good.
They lost to us.
The Bears, literally last week, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, here come the Packers, and then they just laid an egg. And that first half, I'm watching this going, holy crap, who's stopping the Green Bay Packers? Then Watson gets hurt as well. He's got like a ribs or a chest or something like that, where he gets like taken to hospital, and you're like, Jesus. So not great. And because they got that tie though in there, the 9-4-1, it sort of throws like a weird spanner in the works when it comes to the playoffs. So I don't know. But Green Bay didn't look great. Denver on the flip side, their defense looks fantastic. And this is like, I'll hit on this in nails in a second. But at home, they're just, like they've had these weird games at home this year. But when Bo Nix doesn't suck, they look unreal. So Denver have now, like they lost 2 of their first 3. They are now 12-2. So
Crazy.
It's 11 straight wins. It's absurd. They are horrifying. Like there was like the stupid Raiders game, 2 weeks ago, last week, that they sort of like the horrible stupid field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Nearly lost to the Commanders, beat the Chiefs there. They had that other Raiders game there, 10-7 that they just eked out. 18-15 against the Texans. They just keep winning these games though, and like Bo Nix isn't losing these games for them, and that's like one of the like most important aspects of this, right? Like Miami had been
winning is kind of important, Jim. Yeah, I agree with you.
Exactly. Like Drake May, you cop all this grief. He hasn't thrown for over 300 yards, but he has won all of these games this season. I think that matters more than anything else. So anyway, Denver look awesome, and I think them as the 1 seed is really scary because that's 2 games at home if they get the bye, and they're in Soupy. So crazy. Good game by them. Detroit 34, Rams 41. A wildly fun game, and the Rams defense just gave them the clamps. You want me to use these clamps in that second half and just shut them down. It was like 3 straight 3-and-outs, 4 straight maybe, and like just the air went out of the ball for Detroit after being.
They had them in the first half too. I thought they were like, like Detroit could be keeping this close.
Amon-Ra was fantastic. But the Gibbs thing is weird, right? Because it's like if he scores a touchdown, they win. If he does not, they lose. It's as simple as that. And I think his last run of games is like 0-3-0-3-0 when it comes to touchdowns. So crazy. Whereas the Rams, Puka and Stafford were just like, I don't know, mind melded and just.
Yeah, Puka went off his head.
He was that? I think it was his best game as well, because he was absolutely everywhere, carving him up. And like Amon-Ra on the other side was sort of doing that as well. He had 164. Puka had 181. Like it was just chaos. Stafford had 1 bad interception, but and Detroit, as you said, leading at the half, you're like, good game. And then the Rams defense just went, well, we've watched Sean McVay change his hair at the half. He's come out refreshed, and so have we as a defense. And look at this. And they just shut Detroit down. It was crazy. And then they sort of snuck back into it at the end, but they couldn't quite pull it off. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, this double-headed running back thing is unreal. Corum will just break 1 per game. You're like, who the hell? Blake Corum. And he'll just do it every time. You're like, what the hell was that? It's like, that's the Blake Corum run. So, yeah, good times. Detroit, teetering. We'll talk about them again in a second. Carolina 17, New Orleans 20. Call me a shuck boy, Gaz. I am a full-fledged shuck boy.
No one wants to win the South. No. What the fuck? They literally had Tampa Bay shit the bed against the horrible Falcons team on Friday. It's all right in front of them for the Panthers, and then they also shit down their leg.
And then the Saints are like, you know what we love doing? Beating everybody else in our division and being absolute assholes. It's awesome. But yeah, call me a shuckhead because I'm all about Tyler Shuck. He didn't get me over the line in fantasy against you this week, but he was still very solid and very fun. And like the Olave touchdown was awesome. The way that they basically drove to get the win was like, is Shaq good? And I think of all the rookie QBs this year, he's already got the most wins.
Yeah.
It's like 3. So, which is crazy. But he was awesome. I love it. Good on him. Like, way to go. So they drive down drive the field. Groupie kicks the field goal, right? And off they go. No, Smythe?
No.
Who's Groupie? Groupie's the other guy.
That-
But still,
Groupie.
that was awesome. Great job by the Saints. Keep the NFC South like on a pinhead. San Francisco 37, Tennessee 24. Titans wouldn't quite go away, but the Niners still covered because Kyle Shanahan kicked a late field goal as well. Nothing sus here, Gaz. And I don't know. McCaffrey was awesome. Purdy was good. This was just like one of those games I'm like half paying attention, like, they got this. It's fine. Right?
Just turn around. There was a couple of things in there, like dropped interceptions, and like I was like, Tennessee, you got a chance to make this interesting, and it just was not there.
Kittle was good. I loved him talking about, was it Purdy after, or was it McCaffrey or Purdy? I can't remember. Talking about like the Jesus water lizard that runs across the water. It's like, yeah, it's just like that. And it's like, that's pretty funny. I like George Kittle. Ricky Pearsall was awesome, then got hurt, and then came back, I think, which was kind of crazy. Anyway, Niners are 10-4.
Weird. Out of nowhere, with, as you said, no dudes.
The most anonymous 10-4 you got going. So, Indy, Seattle. Phil Rivers. Oh, man, Rivers. 16-18. Seattle win it on a walk-off field goal. Jason Myers had himself a game. And, yeah, this game was weird because Indy just did the thing that they should have done with a 40 billion old QB and just game managed the shit out of it.
Yep.
And go, Jonathan Taylor, you're good. You do all the things.
Do the things.
And it kind of worked for a lot of it because it sort of just limited the time that Seattle had the ball.
Yeah.
Every time they did have the ball, it felt like they were deep in their own territory. And they didn't really hurt them. And the offense just felt like a little bit toothless against Indy. It was very, very weird. But then Seattle,
It was a good game plan. They just couldn't execute enough on the other side.
yeah, and down the stretch, like that was it? I think Seattle, did they go? I think that 18 was all field goals. I think it was 6 field goals for Myers. So
Yes. Yep.
So they get to this point where they go, the 56-yarder, 18 seconds left, kick it. Myers is awesome, win the game. And you're like, all right, that was not very convincing, Seattle. So
If you're Seattle, you're just happy to get out there with the victory. You won't be beating your chest about that one. You won't be trying to cover yourself in glory on that one.
it was very, very weird. You know? Groupies on the Colts. That's who it was. Because he sort of cycled around. That's
it.
Anyway. Seattle lucky. I forgot how much I miss watching Phil Rivers. Like, and he's weird throwing. You're like, this is just, I don't know how this works, but it does. This is kind of fun.
Does thing, yeah.
And when he threw his actual, touchdown, you're like, this is unreal. Like, I mean, I was excited.
Vintage.
I was just like shocked mostly as this was all happening. I'm like, this should be much worse. And doesn't it feel like more of an indictment about the young QBs out there that they're all so crap that Phil Rivers, retired for 5 years, 1,800 days since he last played, comes in and is like, not that bad. 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 18 of 27, nearly gets a win. And he's starting again next week. It's awesome. We get to relive it. So, wow. Young QBs stink. Minnesota 34, Dallas 26. Nine's back.
Ooh.
Back. Yeah, JJ, 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdown as well. Justin Jefferson had 1 call back, which is pretty funny. I mean, brutal for fantasy, but...
I enjoyed this game, Jim.
You enjoyed the
I enjoyed this game a lot.
watching Dallas lose. It is the most Cowboys way to sort of build up the hopes and expectations of a fan base and then just go, wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. Just crap down our legs.
Yep.
Right. To lose to Minnesota have looked alternately horrible, good, horrible, good. At home for the Cowboys, it's just egregious.
Yeah, with the season on the line. Aubrey, so the couple of things worth mentioning here. It felt like who was it who went off injured? One of the Quinnen Williams, I think, went off injured for a while, and it wasn't that Minnesota put up a shit ton of rush yards, right? They only put up 77 yards. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason only combined for about like 65 yards total. But it was when they got them. It was those first downs. It was the salting the game away, like the 10 or 15 yarder that Aaron Jones put through in that last quarter when Dallas really needed that stop. It was when those runs came, you were just like, this is fucking over, right? On the other side, though, Aubrey had a game. Well, he had a reception. Rushing first down on a trick play. That was pretty cool. Got to admit, there's like snap the ball to the holder, who then kind of flips it off to the side where Aubrey's run out and beat the coverage and got the first down. But apart from that, he missed 2 field goals, which is so unlike him. Both were over 50. I think one was somewhere around the 51 and the other one was 59. But they're like automatic for him, and they basically not only that cost him points, but on both occasions it gave, at least on the one in the second half, it gave Minnesota a short field that they took advantage of, right? So that's not exactly a game you want to remember for Brandon Aubrey, but this is there's a 1% chance, Jim, so they have to win out now. They've still got to play the Chargers, and I think the other 2 games are very, very winnable. I can't remember who they are. And hope that the Eagles lose all 3. So that's that 1% chance, and we'll see how we go. You've got to think of that as a lost season for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they've got the Chargers, as you said. Then they've got the Commanders and the Giants. So
so they should win those last 2. But if the Chargers, so in theory, based on the fact that we're playing Sunday our time, they could be eliminated before they play this week, and I fucking hope they are. Otherwise, the Eagles are cutting it way too fine. But yeah, like Dak Prescott's had an awesome year. Fucking CD Lamb's been, CD Lamb, but Pickens has been off his fucking head. The offense has been awesome, and even when they developed those 2 defensive tackles, when they picked them up in trade and at the end of the trade period, like shored up that defense, and it was able to stop the run, but too little too late, unfortunately. If Jerry Jones, if he'd made those moves at the beginning of the season or in the off season and started a full season with a full caliber defense, then this could have been gone a completely different way.
Yeah.
But for now,
wildly disappointing. And then we finished this week 28-15, a gross, horrible game. Steelers Dolphins. Oh boy. 2 touchdowns. Way too little, way too late, because it was all in the fourth quarter, and you're like, that was horrible. Steelers, Aaron Rodgers sort of grinning away like a lunatic with their tush push that they had, which is pretty good. DK Metcalf trucking dudes. He ended up with 55 yards. Kenny Gainwell did pretty well, 80 yards on the ground, but also, used plenty in the passing game as well. The Dolphins just looked completely discombobulated. This game sucked for the first half. Like, the Steelers only scored that first touchdown right at the end of the first half as well. It was gross football. And then, really put it on them in the second half, and the game was over. And you're like, oh yeah, the Dolphins, it's cold. They're not going to win. And here we are. Let's do some yenas. Oh, Gaz, is Mahomes just flat out copying Tom Brady? 3 rings, then does an ACL. Second half goes to another level, wins another 4. What do you reckon?
Did Tom Brady ever missed the playoffs in a season that he was healthy?
Tom Brady never played a meaningless football game in his career. He was never eliminated in a regular season.
There you go.
So the Chiefs being eliminated before Christmas is pretty full on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe he is, mate. Maybe it's that GOAT conversation. Maybe he is literally idolizing him and trying to take after
So
him.
he's
It's
like,
you know what? If the season's done, I might as well, what was the next step that he did? ACL.
ACL. Yeah, so it's like Mahomes is doing to Brady what Dylan Raiola, the guy from Nebraska, is doing to Mahomes, like that weird college quarterback who looks like Mahomes, does everything like Mahomes.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
And is probably busy banging his knee up against a door frame somewhere right now to tear his own ACL. Hey, Gaz, are the Lions going to miss the playoffs? What do you reckon? Yeah, nah.
Would be fucking horrific for a team with that much talent to somehow not make the playoffs with someone from the NFC South. And there's always this debate every year. A few years ago, it was around the NFC East when, someone has to fucking make it from every division. And last year, it was the argument about the seeding and the fact that, you could win a division with a horrible record and you still get a home game. And, we had the 14-win teams who were going away. But, yeah, to have a team with this much talent, like potentially miss, is pretty fucking crazy.
So they play the Steelers, the Vikings, and the Bears. That Bears one is obviously pretty important if the Bears lose a couple. Green Bay, who are the 9-4-1 team, play the Bears, the Ravens, and the Vikings. And you're like, this is all just much of a muchness, really. I feel like Detroit have a better chance of winning more of those games than Green Bay might. But at the same time, I feel like the Micah Parsons thing with Green Bay might get overblown, and then they might just be okay. They might not drop off a cliff. I get this. But you could see them probably beating the Vikings in Week 18. They're probably got a good chance against the Ravens. They always just beat the Bears. So they can just beat the Bears. And this becomes a moot point where they just relegate Detroit to missing. It's crazy.
Well, how's this, right? I mean, obviously there's no wild card going to come out of either the East or the South. So out of this list of 6 teams, who deserves to miss out? Bears, Packers, Lions, Rams, Seahawks, Niners. Obviously, the Rams have clinched, but, it could be. So there's going to be 3 wild cards out of those 6 teams. So someone has to miss out. I don't think any of them deserve to, they're all playoff caliber teams.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of, I guess, what we fucking do. Whereas if you looked at the South at the moment, you'd have to say none of them are playoff caliber teams. But this is where we are.
I reckon Green Bay probably just do enough to hold them off. So does Chicago. Chicago, though, they've got literally the game to keep an eye on is Bears, Lions in Week 18 because it all could just come down to that.
Yeah,
because they play the Packers this week, then at the Niners. So, yeah, Bears, I don't know. Bit of a weird one. Josh Allen, MVP or Stafford? Yeah, nah.
I think it's got to go to Stafford. It's got to. There was a couple of games of the Josh Allen roller coaster this year. So I think with how early they've clinched, they're already in playoffs. What he's done with both Puka and the 14 touchdowns to Adams. 14? It was 14?
It's a lot.
But, yeah.
League
14.
leading.
I think it's just it's Stafford for me. Considering that even before the season it was is his back going to hold up? Well, that was just a bit of a fucking
smoke show.
Smoke show, yeah.
Smoke screen? Smoke show. He's not that hot. Yeah. But anyway. I think the Allen MVP stuff, because he beat Drake May and he was great, you're like, yeah, that probably pushes you into second. Stafford's just that good. But the biggest one I've got, this has to be Buffalo's chance, right? The Chiefs have been eliminated. Lamar's probably not going to make the playoffs. Buffalo, this is your best chance to get to a soupy and shut everybody up for a hint. But also with the NFC not really having a wildly dominant team outside of maybe the Rams, and who knows what's going to happen to them Thursday without probably Devontae against the Seahawks. But it's crazy to think, like, you look at this AFC playoff picture right now. So, in the Super Bowl, representing the AFC would either be CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Juzzy Herbs, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Drake Bloody May, or Bo Nix, which is crazy to think about, right? Like, now you don't have Mahomes bogarting all of the, or like before him, Brady, Manning, like suddenly, or like we've had Burrow make a soupy a couple of years ago. This is Allen's best chance, right? Yeah, no?
Yeah, you'd have to think so. I mean, look, every time we go through a list like that, I just have to remind myself that Rex Grossman once made a Super Bowl. Bears defense. But yeah, look, it's fuck, the market is wide open, right? Like through the whole year, you've always said that the Chiefs making it this year would just be the most Chiefs thing ever after having such a shit beginning and all that sort of stuff and slowly building in this offense. But yeah, someone else it's the changing of the guard, right? Imagine a May or a Knicks in their second year making it into the Super. It would be fucking hectic. Right?
It does feel like the AFC is still just going to go through Denver though. Like they haven't lost at home this year.
Yeah.
That defense is terrifying. And like that feels like the most onerous terrifying sort of approach, right? Like having to go to Denver in the bitter cold, playing mile high against this defense. It's like, dude, I don't want to do that. So it feels like Denver's got a really, really easy run. Just saying. Good bloke of the week. Who are we buying a beer this week? My favorite was probably Kyle Van Noy with the handoff interception.
Yeah. I ain't doing that. I outrun it down there.
So good. He's like, I'm too old for this. You take it. And then like does some awesome, like it was really, really good to see them do that. I think it happened, was it I want to say the Jags defense kind of did it in another way very, very soon after. It was all chaos. But I love that from the Ravens. Like we should see that way more. Like just go full rugby, pass it backwards, off you go, son. You're much faster.
Yeah.
Anyway, Phil Rivers, obviously a grandpa playing football and wasn't horrible. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
I think it was pointed out that I think Favre was a grandfather when he was playing at one point too. So anyway, Trevor Lawrence, as I mentioned earlier, first time anyone has ever had 5 passing touchdowns, 50 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown in a game.
Yep. That's pretty crazy.
Honorable mention, Aiden Hutchinson almost had a big guy touchdown. I think he spent too much time looking behind him. Like just head on a swivel, and he sort of ran out of gas and he got chased down. So that was a bit of a weird one. Anyone else you want to throw in there, Gaz?
No. The good blokes are fine. I think the most obvious one is Rivers coming back out. Love to buy an old man a beer.
He definitely needs, like, it's like he and Joe Flacco are just going to go sit down at a bar somewhere and just go, what are we doing?
What are we for?
Yeah, you hate your family as well? Yeah. Oh, geez, I'll tell you what. They suck. Anyway, old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates this week? Shadur Sanders somehow went onto the field, Gary, with the wrong call sheet strapped to his wrist.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Feels like, I don't know. So all the sort of weird conspiracy theories about the Browns setting him up for failure, when something like that happens, you're like, wait a minute. Maybe there's something to this. That's crazy. It's also kind of on him for not realizing sooner. But yeah, I feel like that man Stefanski just hates Shadur so much, which is probably fair. Steve Wilkes, the New York Jets DC. That's an old mate, no mates for all time because literally last week, Aaron Glenn was like, I believe in Steve Wilkes. I love him. After the game, they're like, nah, I'm not going to take his play calling duties away. Instead, he just flat out fired him. Like, that is such a massive kick in the dick. It's like, oh, good. He's not going to take away my play calling duties. Like, nah, you're fired. You're like, oh, that's much worse. So that's pretty good. Oh, man. Brutal. Obviously, the Giants firing just coaches left, right, and center when they go, hey, why are we sitting at the back of the plane? It's like, you're fired. Get out.
Get out. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Juwan Jennings. No one knows where he is or what he's been doing. Kyle Shanahan's like, I haven't seen him. So, yeah, he's on that list of, don't know, mate. So, he's not one of our mates. He's your mate now. It's like, Jesus, that's not great. Oh, no, not John. Why am I saying Juwan Jennings? Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
Juwan Jennings is fine.
Hang on, I missed this.
I watched Juwan Jennings this week. I had my wrong Niners wide receiver written down. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk, they just don't know what's going on. He's just not rocking up to work. You're like, oh, that's probably not good. Minka Fitzpatrick in that game against the Steelers, that was an old mate, no mates moment. He just got shoved out of the road by DK Metcalf. Absolute, like, dad strength vibes. You're like, get out of here, kid. Against your old team, that is some old mate, no mates vibes. Like, you're going to get clowned in the locker room. All those Steelers are going to be talking about that forever. That's all your old mates who are going to be clowning you forever now. That's a tough one. TJ Watt's doctor.
You're going through an epic list today.
Old mate, no mates. Tony Jefferson and KC. Gave him the double bird after that big helmet-to-helmet hit as well. That wasn't very nice. And then gave him the old whoop-ow. That was... And then got booted. Which was... Even like the refs, like when they bring in like Gene Steratore and like those guys who go, oh, and this is why the refs are correct. Because I'm a former ref.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, thanks.
Sure.
Even though we're like, I don't know if he needed to be kicked out for that. It was just a helmet-to-helmet.
Yeah.
But then he gave everyone the finger. So there's a bit of an old mate, no mates. My favourite, though, this week, old mate, no mates, is Joe Burrow. When your QB gets hit to the ground, Gaz, what usually happens? Somebody helps him up.
Yeah.
Not if you're on the Bengals. Not if you're the quarterback of the Bengals, it turns out. Not after you've spent the week going, I'm not having fun. He's got a hint of the Andrew Lucks about him. Joe Burrow might just go, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Have you seen my offensive line? There are more important things in life than playing quarterback.
I'm trying to die.
For the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, man. That dude just hates it. So, yeah, not great. Outback Takehouse. Oh, unless you've got any other old mate, no mates.
You've gone through an extensive list there, Jim.
Many would say exhaustive, but that's all right. Outback Takehouse. It is Tuesday at Outback. You know what that means? That's right. Tomorrow's hump day. So we've gone out to the Outback, caught a couple of feral camels, whipped off the humps. You chuck them full of like chickpeas and mince and some herbs and stuff. Bake them for 2 days. Bloody delicious. It's a hump day special. Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is Joe Burrow is your Minnesota Vikings QB next year. Only at Outback. I think it's so hard to trade dudes at that price point. I don't think it can happen. But I was thinking, like, if Joe Burrow was to go to
like, they're not at a point of full rebuild with everything they've done around T. Higgins and Chase, right? Like, you can't trade one, right? Because if they got rid of Chase, for example, Burrow would walk, and if they got rid of Burrow and fucking went to full rebuild, those guys would do the same, right? They need to focus on offensive line and a defense that is, well, to be respectful, been really pretty decent the last couple of weeks, but fucking hell, mate! Like they've been on a mediocrity rebuild since the Super Bowl, right?
I was sort of thinking, what team is sort of ideal for Joe Burrow to sort of step in and go, all right, now I've actually got a half decent team, let's go. Yeah. And you're kind of like, oh, the Colts, that'd be fun. It's like, well, you've got nothing to trade for him, I think. It's a bit of a rough one. And then you sort of look around, you're like, ugh, it gets very thin on the ground. I'm like, oh, JJ McCarthy. 9 is sort of shown enough promise that you might be able to, move him on for something else and maybe build a package, but either way. The other one is, if Buffalo don't make the Soupy this year, you've got to fire Sean McDermott, don't you? Like, this is your year. This is what I said earlier. This has got to be your year. Let's go. And he just has like this.
It's kind of in the same. It's kind of in the same realm as like a Kyle Shanahan, right? Like always that bridesmaid thing. And to be fair, the Eagles without doing the 2000s, right? It's so hard to move someone on to just missing that one step, right? And that's where McDermott has been. So
yep.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't know. And obviously, as I said earlier, the Mahomes injury sucks the most because I can't, drag my nuts over the top of the Chiefs' foreheads because they've been eliminated. Little Aussie Battler of the Week, Jordan Mailata got plenty of, run while I was watching that Eagles game. It's like, oh, that's good he's doing. Oh, that's a penalty. Jeremy Crawshaw, he only had 2 kicks, I think, because Denver was so good on offense in the second half of that game. Didn't use him too much. But, yeah, otherwise, good stuff by the Aussies. And Captain Fantasy and Supercoach. I actually haven't checked my final resting spot in Supercoach, but you beat me in Fantasy this week, Gaz, with the...
all my players are showing up at the end of the season, Jim.
It's almost like you should have trusted the bloke who drafted your team for you. It's not a horrible team.
A 5-win run, and when I'm already out of the playoffs.
To miss the playoffs.
I'm just playing this. I'm just the Saints of our league, mate. I'm just playing spoiler.
Yeah, I think I was pretty lucky that I've already clinched a playoff spot this last week because you would have knocked me out, which sucked. But the rest of the NFL Straya Legends League, you've still got Tavis, who had a dominating win over Matty O. So I think I'll land second still overall because I think if we check, Gran's got the Kittle on, i.e., that's McKeegan, I think. So I think he'll end up fourth, just nudging out Josh, I want to say,
there you go,
who got smashed by the tush pushers. So bit brutal. And in Supercoach, I had a rough week, top 10%. So I've dropped down to 56th overall. Bit of a rough one. Just because none of my dudes did too well. But there you go. I think that might be it for the Week 15 wrap. Oh, good stuff. That was a fun one. What a week it was. Mahomes out, Parsons out, Devontae out. It's all going on. But 151 of NFL Straya. That's it. Dunskies. In the meantime, make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. That's where all the other videos go up. Power rankings, all that sort of stuff each week. The Thursday Night Football preview. And I don't know, we're going to go to the Catfish on Sunday or watch some football, Gaz. What do you reckon? Green Bay versus Chicago?
Catfish have been doing their live games on Fridays. I might convince the boys to see if we can do it on Sunday as well, if we've got someone's teams have a vested interest. So, maybe we'll pop down there on Sunday and see some people down there and smash some Sparrows cheesesteaks and
I've got 3 freebies because I've won cheesesteak tipping 3 times. So yeah,
I'll feed 2 plus the one you're giving Gaz.
Feed the family for free. That'd be good. Anyway, rate, review, star, subscribe across all of the podcast apps, wherever you watch, listen, do all that sort of stuff. Come on, it's 2025. You know what to do. Rate, review, star, subscribe. Comment. Send through any nars you want us to hit on. Big thanks always go to House Hats for the intro and outro song. They rule. So does, I don't know, the other, you got Joshua De La Rentis, I think, in the background. Bit of, who's the other one? Iowa. There you go. Get around. Jim does Supercoach. I'll be wrapping up NFL Supercoach tomorrow for your Wednesday. So you pop that up. You'll see that pop up on the NFL Straya YouTube as well. And in your podcast feeds. NBA Straya as well. Got the NBA Cup final tomorrow. That's going to be pretty good. Knicks Spurs, can't bloody wait. Gaz, what do you want to plug?
Cheesesteak tipping, as we always have. That's been picking up. Gino's been doing a fair bit of commentary on it, taking the piss out of himself and everyone else. Did you see the clip that he posted?
I did.
This week about interviewing a rather well-known comedian. I'm not going to repeat what they said, Jim, but I would suggest that you just go over and have a look at it. It was pretty funny.
I think the winner of cheesesteak tipping this week was my man Mick as well, which is awesome. So big Steelers fan. He crushed it, so good on him. So I don't know who won this week, but we usually get the results ratified around now. So we'll see what happens. Good job by Mick. Good job by Jez has got about 7 free cheesesteaks already this season, I reckon. So it's pretty good. Anyway, cheesesteaktipping.com. Anything else, Gaz? You got any gigs coming up?
No, I'm actually I've got to start my marathon training beginning of next year because I've signed up to the Melbourne Marathon for next October. But apart from that, I'm just looking to limp towards the end of the year, Jim. It's been stressful and chaotic, and I'm ready to take a breather, as I think everyone that I'm talking to is.
Nice one. All right, well, there you go. We will catch you on Thursday for the Week 16 picks and preview bit. Until then, see ya. Catch you later, you dickheads.
See yas.
Later.